Don here. Okay, back with another stream, and I'm on the ASRock, streaming directly from the ASRock, and I'm going to, well, before I forget, let me get, well, let's make sure everything's working. You see my preview over there, but I haven't listened to the sound yet. Okay, so we'll let that keep playing, but mute the audio. Now let me switch over to my machine, my Lenovo i5, and go ahead and get it started. It'll be the backup stream. So I'll put it on camera 2 and let it be the backup stream. And they'll both be using the Wi-Fi mic. Let's see, so I'll just hit start. Now, I don't think, if I understand the way it works right, it's really weird. This one's doing 30 frames per second, but every time I stream from the ASRock, it'll do, it was doing 13 something frames per second. Now, it was doing, sometimes I've seen it do 15, but 12 frames per second. And I imported my settings. Maybe the frames per second was defaulted to less than that. It could be. I don't think I can change it while I'm streaming though. So I don't know. Okay, so yeah, let's make sure I'm still streaming from this machine. Okay, I just wanted to make sure everything's working still. Yeah, okay. So that's something I have figured out. You've got the ability to set in OBS Studio. You can set in your profile, so you can't do anything while you're streaming, but if you're not streaming, you can set your profiles and set it to be a backup stream or a primary stream. And it doesn't actually matter, just whichever one you start first. Started this one first, so I was already streaming, and then I went to my machine and started the other one. Now, if I stop this one, it should just pick up on the other machine. And I figured that out by accident because I was switching back and forth, you know, more than one time in a session. So anyway, yeah, but this thing, see, it's 7.5 frames per second right now, and it just changes back. I think it does better on, well, this is on desktop, so it's doing less. So I've had them always set for 30 frames per second. Now with this machine, it gets pretty sluggish. It doesn't actually stream too well. It's really crazy. My Lenovo i5 does great. I have to watch what I do on it, but I just wanted to get off of get that video feedback and all that. It just makes it work harder. This one is an 8-core AMD 8300 8-core with 8 gig of RAM, and it runs really good except for in this one application, OBS Studio. It just seems to, it doesn't it doesn't look out of the ordinary, other than it seems to be using more memory than, well, it might be using more CPU too than on the Lenovo i5, and it's 814 megabytes of memory, or well, that's kilobytes, 795.6 megabytes, and 16%, 17. That seems rather high on such a powerful processor. So I don't know, but maybe this. It's either that this AMD, it's OBS is just not compatible as much with AMD, because my Lenovo i5 is Intel, but it's only a quad core with 4 gig of RAM, and it's actually doing way better than this one does on OBS. It actually will, especially when you stay on there. If I'm like on a camera and just leave it there for a long time, now it's pretty. The mouse will start. The whole window will just freeze up. You won't see. You know, you'll just see the background. You just see that beigeish, whitish background. You won't even see. You know, your preview anymore after a while. And that thing about the frames per second, I've noticed that, and I keep forgetting to go in there when I'm not, you know, before I start streaming and look. I think I did before, and I think it's set on 30 frames per second. That's what I set them on. So anyway, now listen to what I'm here to do. Let's see if I can, let's see, that's making a video. That's really all I needed that open for. And so I'm going to get into Firefox, and I'm going to do what I had planned. I'm in my username on Mom's ASRock, and I decided that, well, I thought I'd do it on both mine and her username, but I may just do mine. I started to just do it in hers because hers has been synced before in this, and in this machine, and in this machine I've never synced my username. So let's go to, well, let's first just go to add-ons. See, I manually put in AdBlock Plus, and that's all I've done. I never synced it to make sure it didn't get that bad add-on, fake VTZilla VirusTotal add-on from addonbrowser.com that serves up malware they're pop-ups, but they're tab pop-ups. You know, they'll just open up new tabs. One of them was a fake Firefox add-on, and other ones were too. Well, I remember the other thing. It kept opening up what seemed like a random Amazon.com page, and I thought, what would be the point? And I realized, well, because if you happen to you see something interesting there, you get kind of tricked. You know, you're curious, and you go ahead and log in to your Amazon account. They've got your Amazon password, username and password. So I think it really was an Amazon page, but I think the whole thing, I read up on it, and the malware that seems to be served up from this, the type of malware this site is serving up or connected to or whatever, if you scan their website, it comes up clean, but you know, that doesn't mean they're opening up other websites, you know. They like the fake Firefox, and I've got videos of it happening even. But anyway, it looks like it's an actual Amazon.com page, but they're probably monitoring what you're doing, is what I'm trying to say. Keyloggers, you know, and all that stuff. So, and it could be a fake Amazon page even, but I scanned those pages that it opened up, and they came up clean, if I remember right. Anyway. Now I have reformatted my machine. I haven't dared use Firefox Sync because I was afraid that what'll happen, you know, when you I've been using Firefox Sync for years for, you know, pretty most everything, you know, my add-ons especially. Then I started doing passwords, and you know, it's convenient, but it's also a very convenient way to spread malware through every system that you have. So when you get something, it's the first time I've ever had a bad add-on. And of course, we got synced into every machine that had sync turned on, and machine that I turned on during that time. So I just quit turning on sync because I know that when you from one is I was afraid this malware might have a way to stick itself in your sync and not be able to be deleted. But even in normal circumstances, I've many times deleted an add-on on one machine, and it's gone. And then I go start up another machine later, a few days later, or whatever, a week later, and that same add-on that I deleted off of the one machine is still in my sync, and it gets installed on the other machine. And I thought, well, crap. And then I just, you know, I don't want that anymore, and uninstall it. I didn't think a lot about it because it wasn't anything dangerous. Well, now it is something dangerous. So this machine's I'm fixing to reformat it. This is Fedora 27, and with all this trouble, and then Fedora 28 came out in the meantime, and I've been running it on my Lenovo i5, and I like it. You know, it's fine. Don't seem to be. I really haven't noticed hardly any difference between 27 and 28. You know, but I'm sure there'd be a few. You know, the more I get into it, I might. Well, if I ran them both a long time, I might notice some. But anyway, well, I'd like to know if it'd even be safe to use sync again anymore, you know, especially like from a passwords. That's the thing that's most convenient for. Of course, it just may be, now that it really hits home to me how dangerous it could be, maybe I don't want my passwords being stored in there. Of course, you can store your passwords just on the machine you're on. but you don't have to use sync to store your passwords. But the minute you turn on, let's go to the settings and I'll show what I'm talking about. Okay, so I searched for passwords in the where did I go? Preferences, edit preferences. That's how you get there. And so, well, proxies. I don't use proxies, but that just came up in the search results. Forms and passwords. Whether or not you save logons, and so you can do all that without ever syncing. But you know, the syncing is really nice in that. Well, it's nice for everything that you want synced, but see, there you go, synchronized bookmarks, history, tabs. I never have wanted to synchronize history or tabs. I used to do bookmarks, but I quit in the last year or more because, it was 3 years ago I quit because I lost all my bookmarks in the sync, fouled up, and I lost about, not all of them, but 3 months worth of bookmarks got deleted. And so I quit doing that. Passwords and add-ons I kept doing, but I haven't, since I had this trouble with the, add-on browser.com malware app, Firefox Addon. So I want to see if my theory, my worries are, would come true on this machine before I reformat it. If that bad add-on is still in there in my sync, even after I've uninstalled it from every machine that had it on it, I even found another one the other day that I'd forgot about. My Net Pro Max was out in the garage. Let's see, was it? Yeah, Net Pro Max was out in the garage during all this time, and it had sync turned on it. Well, I forgot about it. Well, I was out in the garage working on a fan and doing some fan mods for the GPU of my other machine, and I turned it on to, turned it on to check my stream and stuff, and all of a sudden, here come that fake Firefox add-on and all that crap from addonbrowser.com. All that stuff popped up. So I deleted it out of there. So see, it was. So I don't know if it got put in there when I booted it up that day, just a couple of weeks ago or 3, or if it was already in there and it just started doing that because I turned the machine on. So I wasn't a controlled experiment. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't thinking about it. So this time, I know that I don't, of course I just showed I don't have anything but AdBlock Plus in there. I only installed it manually. I didn't do any syncing. So if and I'm just going to do it this way, I'm going to go to Tools, Sign into Sync, just to go straight to that. And of course I could have went there from where I was at just now by just clicking on the right thing, but actually all that stuff had me a bit too much in front of my eyes right now while I'm talking at the same time. Okay, so, and of course I didn't remember the sign-in credentials. I had to go try to find them. I think I have them found. Let's see, so what I'm going to do is switch to the camera view so it'll be all blurry. And sometimes that's actually a bonus for me, a helpful tool. And that darn noise, I don't know if that's gonna, it may come into the audio. There's a noise that's happening in my speakers. Thought I knew what it was for the last couple of weeks. I'd turn off my jam box and it would go away, and then I'd wait for a while and turn it back on and it wouldn't come back a lot of times. But I turned it off 3 times a while ago and it never quit. So, but I do have my little Jensen computer speakers on and plugged into Mom's machine so I could hear my my tests and stuff. I've had it plugged into my regular setup, into my patch bay, and it was making a bad noise, a buzzing noise. So I don't know, maybe this machine, well, this machine hasn't been running. It does it when this machine's not running. I don't know it sounds like radio noise being picked up by the wiring, or something, but I'm not sure what it is. It's aggravating, that's for sure. All right. Oh, I just realized something. I wrote down my username and password, but I know it's wrong. Wait, maybe it's not. I think it's wrong. Wait, they use your email. They use an email address, and that email address, pretty sure I left off a couple of letters. So let me switch back to, well, I'm on the camera still, so I'll just go back to my machine and double check the, let's see, oh, I remember. Something like that noise can just destroy all of your concentration. Oh. Yeah, okay, I was right. Normally I don't even show, that's really blurry, and I know you can't read it because with that camera, zoom, you know, way back behind me, zoomed in on there. But normally I don't even show that. I'm tired, but I wanted to do this, so hopefully I'm not making mistakes. Big mistakes by doing this. Okay. Oh, there's not enough room to write that in there right. And that noise. Well, I think I've got it written down to where I can figure it out, read it right now, but the future, oh, I have to just rewrite that, I guess. I knew that email address was wrong when I saw it. I had it written down. Oh. Okay. Well, it's saying confirm this login, so I guess it's not the wrong password. Oh. Let's see, it says you got to confirm by going to Hotmail. Well, normally what I do is go to my Thunderbird and do that on my machine. And you could open it from there, assuming you trust everything, but I don't trust anything anymore, really, so I think I'm just gonna go to Thunderbird. It should come in there. Yeah, when I was doing my test on this machine a while ago, that noise sounded like it got into my recording. So I'm afraid it's going to be there. Yeah, there it is. I see it. It came in. Okay, so what do I need to do? I may have to. I'll just scan it with the virus, with the Dr. Web link scanner. I always do that anyway. I mean, I was expecting this link, but it never hurts to be careful. Now, I don't know if I'll have to go do it on that machine or if I can do it on this one. Let's find out. Copy link location. I may have to go to hotmail.com over there and sign in. We'll see. Sign in, confirm. Oh, okay. So that's really not going to work from here any further than that. Let's go see. I think I just made it. Oh, make it more of a problem. Oh, it opened up the in this browser. It opened up. This Firefox is connected. Okay. I guess it works, even though I did it in a weird way. That's pretty weird. It changed the you know what the page had on it. Now it's trying to get your. All these things are trying to get your mobile number. I wouldn't give mobile number to anybody, but who I want to give it to. I ain't giving it to all these websites for darn sure. Okay, so Firefox is connected. Now, let's go to Tools. I should have just left that open. Okay. Still don't have any new add-ons. Let's see. Well, let's just click on Go to Sync again. Oh, Sync Now. Oh, yeah, so it's now you do Sync Now. Okay. So I'm just going to close that page. Now let's leave that one open and say Sync Now. And things should start happening. Used to you could watch the progress of the sync if you started it from a certain page, but now I guess I don't see how you do that if you can, because all I see is the links up here under Tools. But I do know that when it starts syncing, it will you'll see add-ons be added. Let's see, preferences. Let's look to sync. There we go, sync. Okay, only thing okay. Preferences and logins. I don't have add-ons checked. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. So on this one, is that going to, no, that's not going to be global. No, it didn't used to be. That one's Firefox on ASRock 8300. Okay. Yeah, so that, connect to another device. Okay, yeah, so that's only for this device, right? Because I don't want that happening on other devices. I'm going to close that and then open it up again. Open it up again. It takes a little while for it to happen. So, but you'll see the add-ons being added to the page, the add-ons page, and you'll also see them. They do, almost all of them open up a tab saying, that's why it took me a while to realize there was something bad happening with that stupid add-on. I remember I kept seeing, I remember seeing Amazon pages open up a couple of times, and I thought, what? I didn't open Amazon, and because then I think I did start suspecting one of the add-ons, because some of the, a lot of them all update on the same time. You open up Firefox and all of a sudden you get all these tabs opening up saying, this add-on, that on, the other add-on have just been updated. Congratulations, and all that stuff. And but I couldn't figure out what one it was. And finally, actually what I finally realized, I don't even remember how to do it right this moment, but you can go and see the code of the add-ons. I'd have to go back and watch my own videos. I made videos of it and showed it all, but you could see, I finally figured out which add-on that I knew it was add-on browser.plum kept opening up, and it had a bunch of ads for stupid looking games and stuff, and I thought, well, that don't have anything to do with any add-ons I've installed, or I never installed anything to do with gaming, period. And finally, anyway, I realized the addonbrowser.com tab that kept opening up was connected to, it's called Safer Web with VirusTotal, or Safe Web with VirusTotal add-on. It trying to make you think it's the VirusTotal VTZilla add-on. And when Firefox first, and this is the craziest thing, they made the Firefox Quantum to made everybody rewrite their add-ons. Took a lot of, like for instance, VirusTotal took a while to get theirs rewritten, and it wasn't available. And I wanted a link scanner to be safe, and so I started searching. They said, well, they suggested your placements and all that stuff. I don't know that they suggested that. I don't remember. But I remember I was searching. Yeah, I remember searching and searching. I wanted to find the best one, and that one looked like the best one. And I kind of remember I wasn't sure that it was actually VirusTotal. What it does is it really does scan links with VirusTotal. It's in its code. It calls up the VirusTotal link scanner. So what it does and uses it. And so that gains your confidence. You think it's all good, and I was using it, thinking everything was fine. Except for I kind of was like, man, I'd rather have the way it used to be, And then when that one day, finally, when the fake Firefox update opened up, I started investigating. I wanted to know where the heck that was coming from. I thought, do I have malware on my machine somewhere? What's it doing? I kind of figured it was to do with an add-on because it opened up with the updates, the other updates, from add-ons. I'm kind of surprised nothing has been installed yet. Maybe it's because I don't have anything in sync anymore. I mean, my add-ons sync. Maybe because I haven't synced any of my other, like my Lenovo i5, I manually install all of my add-ons, and I've never synced it. Well, I mean, it's good that on browser.com is not, back. So, but it can take a while sometimes too. So, yeah. So, yeah, I lost my track of where I was in the story, but really the videos will explain it all. I made a bunch of videos on it on my channel there. I'll just do that right now. I'll go to my channel. Let's go to YouTube. I won't try to log in. Let's see. I'm not real. Let's see. I guess I can. It's there, All I have to do is click without showing anything. What did that? For some reason, I just got notices of getting emails on the phone, one of my phones that I'm recording with here. I don't know if it was, well, I have 3 of them running, so I'm not sure which one. I heard one vibrating, and I think it was the one behind me that dinged. But actually, I think I took one that kept filling up. I took Gmail off of it, so it wouldn't have been that one. So what I was going to say is I can go to my playlist here. I made a playlist for, and this video will go into that playlist once I get done with it, there it is right there. Virus and down-bishop virus and malware prevention, Firefox add-on, safer web. Oh, it says, yeah, web safer. They have it backwards. Web safer instead of safer web, like a normal American or English people would say it. Web safer with VirusTotal from addonbrowser.com. Opens fake Firefox update page, and the address that it gave in the one I got was FFinst25.download. I've seen others since then. But just those videos, I did. Well, now the numbers are going to skip around because I started getting off into other subjects, and I was just going to stay with that numbering, you know, part 1, 2, 3, until I got done with that. Well, then I had to get off and do other things because things kept going this way and that. So up until, let's see, 48, let's see, 43, 44, and then it starts skipping. 48B has something. It's going to be more than one subject in that video, but I try to put. These are all just about that, or pretty much. Sometimes I sidetrack, you know. Actually, I always sidetrack. But like this one, that's a back online with Fedora 28 Meteor Router crash. Back online is actually about my server being back online. Anyway, it's not in the title, doesn't look like, but I'm sure I put it in there because there was something about it in there. It's in the description. It'll tell more, and I try to put links to the exact, you know, minute, hour, minute, second, or whatever minutes and seconds of where that starts. And sometimes I don't get, you know, it takes a long time to do that. Not as long as editing, but it takes a long time to do all that. Sometimes I don't get that done. I just put it in the description, and I don't put where, but I try to put where because I know that's really helpful. Helps me if I want to go back and look at it. Yeah, so it's not in the title, but if you go to the video, then yeah, backup. That's today, back before reformatting. So I've always tried to keep my part 1, 2, so and so in sequence, but I really got off this time. And the thing is I've been making these live videos and working on. I've had so many things going on. I would be working on. I do 10, 20 minutes worth of work on one machine, and then I switch to another machine, and then switch to another machine, so it all got into one live video. But like if I click on that one, and I won't wait for it to get started, I'll just see if there's any. Yeah, there's not any in there, but it does have the description. This one, I guess this one has something about add-on browser on it. If it didn't, I need to take it out of there. This one may be in there by mistake. I don't see anything about. Unless it's in there and I just didn't get it in the description. Doesn't say anything that makes me think it should be in that. I'll have to go back and check on that. Let's see. Audio updates. I could have just made some mistakes here. See, there's the links to particular exact spots in the video. You can just click on those, and it'll go right to
6
them.
is in there on the RAM.
See, so that's pretty convenient. It's almost like editing. I'll have to go through and see if I may have some in this. There it is. Yeah. Oh, probably virus infected. Oh, I put that in there. I see why I put that in there, because that's related to viruses, but not specifically addonbrowser.com. Probably might not be where I should have put it, but kind of make sure it'll take a partition, you know. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know what took me out of my playlist. It did. Anyway, that's how those work. And it doesn't look. I'm going to say that there are no. Okay, so there's no addonbrowser.com in my Firefox add-ons in my sync, because by now it should have. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't take any longer than this. You know, however, I've been talking a long time now, so I'm going to leave this running. Well, and for a while, you know, I'm not going to stop it or anything. And let's see, I'm going to click sync now again just to make sure. And all I have though is preferences and add-ons and login synced. So, but evidently that see when I went to, I'm pretty sure I didn't have. Actually, I don't remember, but how when I went to YouTube or whatever I went to, yeah, it was YouTube, and it yeah, there's me right there live now. When I went there and it asked me, do I want to log? See, now it's still, well, of course, it's still logged in. And it's the same session, but I think that password was not in there before. I think that just got put in there by this sync. So let's just go ahead and close the browser. Well, let's wait just a little bit longer. Make sure whatever syncing it was trying to do is finished. And trying to think. There's not really. Well, I'm just getting tired. I can't think of a more. I'm barely able to think straight on this thing right here. Connect to another device. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's that page I had up that they brought up. Wanted you to put in phone number. Is that the only thing you can connect from there? You know, I mean, normally, yeah, you just do it on the device you're on. But oh, you can change the device name. Okay. So what I'm going to do is close Firefox and open it back up and make sure that it's not having any add-ons that got installed, but you have to shut. Some add-ons still have to be. Usually they tell you, they'll say, okay, so-and-so add-on's been installed, and when you open Firefox again, restart Firefox, it will reinstall. Yeah, so it's not running. So let's open it up again. Oh, my ear. All of a sudden I got a real bad loud ringing in my ear. It hurt, actually. Yeah, I do want to do one thing. How tracking protection works. Yes, I wonder why that came up. I've seen that before, lots of times. No, I don't want to disable any tracking protection. Oh, let's see. Oh. Yeah, my homepage on here was the Fedora homepage. So see, it changed my homepage to what I normally use. And if I wanted to, I could log in to these things. Should be able to just log in. Yeah, see, there's the password. So now I have my actual. The settings aren't actually right yet. They got the tiny text. It doesn't have. I always have to make the text bigger. See, that's on normal 100%, and it's tiny text. I don't know if I had to, that should have done that, but it didn't. Fixed itself, but it didn't. And so now, see, now my Google will be logged in, and if I go to YouTube, then it seems that I'm live. See that I'm live. That's one way to see. Okay, so no add-ons. So yeah, see, I had my Lenovo i5. I have all my, I had manually installed all the add-ons I wanted. I kind of changed things around. I don't have the exact same add-ons I used to have, and so I guess if I wanted to do that again, I still don't know if I want to ever do it again. If I wanted to risk that kind of thing happening again, I mean, I might try out a new add-on that turns out to be bad. You never know. I mean, you might get by mistake again, So I don't know. I'm still going to wait and think about it before I do any. The reason I went ahead and did passwords is because they're all encrypted and everything. And they're, I knew that they were a separate
I'm sure I knew that they would be separate section of the Firefox sync. So, but that's good. It looks like so. I wasn't as I finally decided it should be safe to sync passwords. But I've thought about it on and off the last couple of years. I never. I mean, Linux has had password storing software for always ever since I got into it. Well, I don't know, maybe not when I got into 2005. I don't necessarily remember it, but I remember it. I remember seeing it shortly after that, within a couple of years, and I never tried to use it. I didn't have all that much interest in it. But then, well, I didn't start using even storing my passwords in Firefox or anything until the last couple of years, because I got to where I couldn't remember them. I used to remember most of my passwords. But that's just as problematic if you get something bad in there. Well, if that ever gets broken into is what would be so bad with that. But what I was trying to say is Linux has encrypted password managing software. Now, let's see. Well, it comes with the desktops. It has for a long time. KDE has K-Wallet. Genome has Mate. I think Mate still uses the Genome password manager. What's it called? I forgot what it's called. Anyway, each desktop has one that they package with their desktops. And I use Mate desktop, which used to be which was a fork of Genome 2. I never did like Genome 3. But I know that they all have, password managers. So anyway, and what I'm trying to say is, I think you should be able to manage your browser passwords too. I know you can manage passwords for all your software on your machine. And I need to look into it and see, because maybe I'd rather them only be stored on my local machine than have, if I decide that syncing with Firefox or Indoor Chrome becomes too dangerous, because boy, if you get hit, they get it all. If they get into your, it's happened before, like with things like, I remember I don't know that it happened to LastPass, but things like LastPass, it was all, it got really popular. For several years there, they thought it was the end-all protection, and then of course they got broke into, and millions of people's passwords were stolen. And and thing is, if you've got all your passwords in one basket and that basket gets broken into, you're in serious trouble. Instead of one account getting broken into, everything you got in there is broken into. That's why I never did that. And then I started doing it in Firefox because I couldn't remember my passwords, and I was really having trouble, having to log into stuff all the time. I used to just type in the password every time I needed to log into somewhere, and I didn't like it much, but then I got to where I was having to dig them, find them and dig them up, and so I finally started doing it. And I haven't had a problem with that, but this problem with the bad browser add-ons really making me think about that. Now what I'm thinking though, get add-ons, let's see. Actually what I'm thinking is, I was thinking about going and showing the page. I want to go see if it's still available, if this that add-on browser add-on is still available. Well, first one other thing I want to do is just go ahead and back up. There's very few add-ons in here, bookmarks in here, but I want to go ahead and back them up. So let's, I already backed up this machine. I don't have a bookmarks folder. Where's the deal where you can make a folder? There it is. Okay, now then. Didn't go back up there. Okay. Let's see, Firefox. Let's see. Can't seem to get Firefox bookmarks. Fedora 27. There we go. I don't think there's much of any in MOMS, but I may go ahead and do that before. I'm not going to do the reformatting tonight. I'm way too tired. It's almost 11 o'clock now. But that won't take any time at all to back that up. Let's see if I have anything, any shortcuts to the, anything like that in here. I don't even have Firefox Addon folder in here, so. This is such a small amount, I think I'll just email it to myself instead of plugging my drive back in here again. Let's see, let's go ahead and open up. Now I was worried about this machine, you know, streaming, doing desktop. Actually, it's not acting slow. It seems like it only starts making OBS Studio act up when you stay on the camera for a good while. I just now remembered I'm streaming really low frame rates. But it's not I've done it before from this machine and it didn't throw things off real bad. It does on the camera, I think. Okay, that should be 337. So what I can do is let's see. Yeah, so if I want to go try and show the the actual, look and see if that's still in there. I'll bet it still is. It was just a few weeks ago that addonbrowser.com was still in, Firefox still available for people to install, and it's flat out serving up malware. And I reported it, and of course they didn't answer me, but I didn't figure they would. They said something about we may not be able to answer you. Well, I knew that meant they weren't going to. They said we may not be able to answer everybody, you know, individually, blah blah blah. But I thought, well, I don't really care. I just want them to get it out of there, you know. So anyway, plugins. I have the Open H264, the one that comes with Firefox now, and that is it. Oh yeah, here's what I want. See, and now I can hit the home button and go to my normal home page. So that, I don't know why the size didn't get of the my settings. You know, my text size settings. I won't worry about that right now. But yes, I can just go to Gmail and just email that that backup. That's such a small amount. Just email it to myself. Gmail is getting an update. In less than a week, Gmail will get an update. Look, new features like snooze. You can still go back. Okay. Send it to my Gmail and to my regular account. And let's see. Oh, I want to attach it. I'll just go ahead and attach it. Where's the attach button? Nope. There it is. Paperclip. I don't use Gmail. I like Thunderbird. I don't like webmail, but for any kind of. Okay. Now, I wonder if it'll let me copy that name. No, it won't. So if I want to copy that name, get it from in there. I think I can close that and hit cancel so I don't mess it up. I always write a little bit of a note and put my name in there. That way I know I sent it to myself, because you know, you see that stuff sometimes and you might not remember that you did it and think it's somebody trying to send you bad links. Okay, so view the message. Okay, there it is. Yeah, see, I can download that HTML file onto my regular machine, and then it'll get on the backup automatically. All right, so, oops, I didn't mean to hit reload. Get off of there. Let's go back into add-ons again. Yeah, okay, so I think it's going to be okay. I think my sync account, and I guess Mom's would be okay too. I'll worry about that later. She does not, well, she's got, I don't know, I guess I put about, not quite as many add-ons in hers as I did in mine, but some of that I have on mine I didn't put in hers, but that's actually encouraging. I was really afraid that I was going to have to just probably just close my Firefox accounts and reopen new ones if I wanted to use them anymore, you know. There's some things, well, you can't follow a bug report unless you have a Firefox account, and as long as I still want to use password sync, then that saves my day a lot to have that. Then you need an account. So yeah, so let's get, I think what I want to do is go to my machine so that I can yeah, that's the only thing I don't now that I mean, I just got through backing everything up. So like tomorrow when I get back on this, I'll probably need to go into Mom's, but I will check everything over, but hopefully I'm done backing up. Well, no, I won't be done completely because there's a few videos I made here, like, well, I made 2 offline. It took me quite a while to get back. I was thought I was going to take a short break and come right back, but it took me a long while because I went to do I always test everything before I start my stream because half the time there's something wrong, you know, and so if you do a test video, you see what's wrong, you fix it, and then you start streaming. And most of the time things work. Well, I went to go try to play back my test, and it wouldn't. The speakers wouldn't work on this machine. I didn't have any speaker cables plugged into it, and I had planned to just not have it plugged in until I was actually going to use it, and instead of plugging it in the back, just plug it in the front. And it didn't work. It wouldn't do it. I had to reboot, and I was testing around trying to figure it out and everything because I just wasn't accepting in my brain that it should work because it's always worked. And you normally don't have to reboot in Fedora or Bang, either one. You just you can plug it in the front or back. It doesn't matter, and it'll just work. Well, it didn't work. I had to reboot for the machine to see, for the software to see that I had speakers plugged in. And the front does show up as earphone connector, but still, that really doesn't make any difference as far as functionality. Not much anyway. Maybe you get sometimes you get a little less volume on the output on the one that's considered earphone connector, but so yeah, okay. So what I'll do is. See, I'll just close that. I don't need that right now. And yeah, I'm watching my live stream, so I'm gonna. Well, let me go look and see. You know what? I want to make sure I have. Let me put it on camera too. And right here's where I usually leave it when this is the backup stream, and this is, I guess, the thing that makes it end up bogging down. And maybe if I left it going like that for a long time, it might bog down too. So I don't need Firefox, anything. I don't need my emails. Okay. Yeah, I did start it, so it's streaming, but it's not being played on YouTube, and it doesn't get saved. I figured that out. I thought it might save both streams on there, but it doesn't. So I'm going to leave it right there on my system monitor, and that way I'll be able to know right away when it switches. So what I'm going to do now is go back to the ASRock, and I'm just going to stop the stream over here, and immediately it should be picked up, and I can watch it happen on my preview on my laptop. It should be picked up on the... be picked up by my Lenovo i5. All right, stopped. And I'll go ahead and stop my recording too, because I was making a backup recording. Takes a bit for me to see it on the preview, because it may not work. Well, I'm still alive though. I just see that my preview is trying to load and it hasn't switched over yet. I think it takes a little bit. But when you're watching the video back, it's just instant. But in the stream itself, it may take a little bit. But I still just see my view of OBS Studio, and it's trying to load. I'm going to get a hit. I don't know if I want to hit reload on my laptop or not. I don't hear myself talking. I could be wrong. It could be that I do need to have the other machine set as the backup instead of set as the primary for this to work. I'm going to hit reload because it could have already switched and I just don't know it. It's hard to tell with that delay. Now I'm still just seeing the last thing. It's hard to tell with that delay. Oh, I guess it's that much behind. Normally I would just go on and go on about my business, you know, but oh, I just now realized something. Until I switch, so I'm going to close OBS. Actually, I can shut this machine down. I'll just do that. I think it's what's causing the noise anyway. Okay. So now, yeah, I didn't ever switch off that machine, so what am I going to see? I'm going to see what the camera shows, right? Because that's the way I had it set. Oh, no, I had the camera. Oh, see, I had the camera, but I'm using the camera. I didn't switch it to desktop or anything. I left it on camera too, which is the best thing to do, using it as a backup stream. So I was sitting there waiting for the scene to change, but it wasn't going to change until I changed what the camera sees. So it should be. I was sitting there waiting for the scene to change, but it wasn't going to change until I. Yeah, it should. I should end up seeing my. I left it on system monitor on this machine, but that didn't make any difference because what the monitor was showing, and now I see it. Okay. So I was just, again, I'm tired and I wasn't thinking straight. Okay, so now just because I like it better, I'll just knock something off. Just because I like it better. I get the SM58 because I don't believe I'm going. Well, I turned off the ASRock. I don't think I'm going to be going back to it. So now we're back on the SM58. We're on our desktop. I forgot that I was on desktop and I was showing the feedback. Okay. Now, yeah, so that works. It's just your brain has to work to understand what's going on. So I'm going to go in Firefox now, and since I'm going on about this, browser add-on, see, I'll go show the add-ons that I have. See, this is the ones I've manually put in. Now, I was sitting there thinking those would all be synced, but this has never been synced, so they're not in the sync account. This is all I'm using right now, and I don't really need more than that. I mean, here and there, sometimes I get another one or get rid of one or something, but the more you have, the more it works your system. It makes your system work harder. So, and I used to have like 10 or 15 of them all the time, and it was just slowing my system down. So what I'm going to do, get in my bookmarks, and in here I have have links to all these, you know, all this stuff. I wonder if I have it. Let's look in here. I don't know if I have it under like its own folders, but I think I just put it in Firefox add-ons and put notes in there, like as to which one was it. So I'll just have to look through here. I don't see it in there. You know, this, let's see. Maybe I don't have it, a link. Well, it doesn't look like I have it. Yeah, it would have been in my Fedora 23 system before I reformatted this one with Fedora 28. Don't have any. I don't have a folder for viruses or anything in here yet. Haven't need to look it up. So add-on browser. Let's see. Oops, I can't type. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go to my my last backup from Fedora 27 of my bookmarks. Oh yeah, I've got, well, I can do that later. Bookmarks, let's see, do I have that in here? Oh, 627.18, no. Oh, 627, I don't think that's going to have it in there. Let's look and see, but I don't think so. I think it's just going to be this new browser. Pretty sure. I do remember I learned something along the way of all this. I never used that Firefox cleanup, whatever they call it, refresh, and I never realized that it let's see, maybe this is, this could be, no, this is not. I'm pretty sure this is well, there's a lot in there. I don't know if it's AD or ADD. Oh, add-on extensions. This may be. Yeah, here it is. This is my bookmarks from before. This, you know, Fedora 28. So this is the links to all the information on it. I went, yeah, I made, see, virus malware. Website for VirusTotal, so and so, so and so. So that's it right there. Now what I was wanting to do is go to the, not to their website or anything like that, because that serves up malware. For sure I don't want to go there, but I wanted to go to the Firefox add-on page. VirusTotal.com. Okay, well, that's a VirusTotal scan of it. Results. Google search. Yeah, I just remembered I had been putting these links in my video descriptions from some of those. So Yeah, some of my videos I made on that, I put these links in there if you're interested. There's a Google search on that fake Firefox download site. Gotta be careful. Don't just go to those links without really paying attention to where they're going. Hover over them and see where they're going. And if you still don't feel good about it, then use VTZilla, VirusTotal's real link scanner before you go to it, or some other good one if you know of another one that you like. Definitely don't use the one from addonbrowser.com. It's ADONbrowser.com. What I got it, the way I have it spelled there. I may have purposely taken the link to their site out of here. I can't remember, to be honest. There's the reviews. Yeah, for that. I think I may have taken the actual links out of there to be safe. Make sure me or anyone else didn't. Yeah, here's the reviews for that, and this would take you back to that add-ons page. But here's the reviews. Attempts to install add-on browser without permission, unless you watch it closely. Changes whole pages, etc. Block the website from which VirusTotal. They may not realize the difference, between the real VirusTotal. And the thing is, they use the VirusTotal link scanner. They say it's open source, and VirusTotal may be open source, and that may be why they get away with doing that, using their scanners. Yeah, they haven't figured out it's malware. They just think it's aggravating. That's what I thought at first. Installation of this extension leads to an offense. Here's a Bugzilla, Mozilla link. Yeah, someone told about the actual VirusTotal add-on. Yeah, and there's a whole lot more bad reviews on it now. I believe I put a review in here. I know I reported it. Yeah, they figured out it's not VirusTotal. They said that would have given it 5 stars, but Zemenia Anti-Malware flagged it and deleted this add-on. Yeah, because it's malware. And they said they reported it to Zemenia in the hope that it's a false flag. No, it's not a false flag. I'm sorry. And they just a 1-star. Icons on the panel did not appear, but the add-on got open some kind of left side with add-ons either. See, when I installed it, I think there was only probably these 3 reviews right here, unless some of them have gone away. But I remember there was one saying it was bad, and all it did was just say it's malware. Now, see, this one's written in Russian, but I have a translator, so let's translate that. Oh, that's not how I wanted to do it. You got to say, how do you do it? Oh, it's not the same one where you can say translate this. Oh, there we go. Translate selection. There we go. Can't be translated. It's longer than 1,100 characters. Oh, I've never seen that before. Try that one more time. Can't do the whole page. It's not all. Let's just take part of it then. That's not the same translator I used to use ever since the new Quantum Firefox. I don't have that either. Still can't do it. Oh, well. Okay, I'm tired of messing with it. I didn't realize that was so lousy. I thought all you had to do is just see if you just click translate, then it'll just say it's already in English. I'll have to find the one I used to use. Maybe I can go back and figure out the one I used to use, and maybe it's available again now. Not sure if it works or not, but I know VirusTotal works. It tricked most everybody, I think, that installed it in the beginning. See, it has really lousy ratings. I think, and I would have never installed it. I think it had like 3 or 3.5 stars, and normally I won't even install anything with less than 4 stars, but there wasn't stuff available, you know. So let's see. Go back to the add-ons page now. And here's the add-on page, and what was it I was going to show on here? See, it says it's, that's one thing that made me, you know, used to, if you saw GNU General Public License, GNU Public License, you know, open source, you could, it was trustworthy. Not anymore. Or, well, I've probably just been lucky all these years, because there's always been people that are trying to exploit, you know, good stuff like that. But, yeah, see, here's all of its permissions. Lots of permissions there. Access your data on all websites, display notifications to you, and access browser tabs. I don't know that VirusTotal does all that. Should go look at the VirusTotal and see if it does that. And then explanation, you know, it sounds really good. Yeah. But it's still here. Okay, there's the point. It's still there. Firefox still has not deleted it, even with all those people. And I don't know if they reported it. I reported it. You know, there's a link somewhere on here to report. Let's see. There. Report this add-on for abuse. And I've already done that. I'm not going to do it again. Now, if serving up malware doesn't violate Mozilla's policies, then I guess we should all quit using Firefox, huh? So I already did that, and of course it said, well, thanks for reporting it. We probably may not be able to, you know, get back to you, but maybe we have the permission to write to you if we need to, blah, blah, blah. And I told them they could, blah, blah, blah. And of course I didn't really expect to hear from them, but I never expected for several months later it 2 months later, at least, I think. I don't know. I'll say when I reported it, I'd have to go back and look. A month, 2 months, way, way too long. Because this is serving up really bad malware, not just, you know, adware and stuff, but serious malware, keyloggers and all kinds of crap. You know, fake. I mean, why would they allow an add-on in their system that opens up pages to fake Firefox updates? That should be the worst thing on their list, you know. And what that is, it's not. I've read about it. It's not a It's actually just installs another add-on that allows them to do a lot of different things. You know, another Firefox add-on, keylogger, anything from keyloggers to getting your passwords to you know, constant advertisements to try to get you to spend money on their associated sites. That's what I read, but I never saw that. What I saw was things that looked more like they were going to try to steal your personal information, like the Amazon page that opened up. It wasn't some affiliate Amazon page. It was just an Amazon page, and it unless it was, like I said, it could either be a completely fake Amazon site where everything you type goes to them, or they've got, you know, installed the keylogger in your browser, and then when you log into your real Amazon site, they get your Amazon password. Either way, they're trying to get your Amazon password, username and password. And I'm sure there's many, and from what I read when I looked it all up, there's more sites, you know, that they And I saw, let's see, what else did I see? I saw the fake Firefox and the Amazon. That's the only two I can remember right now. So, yeah, this is ridiculous. So I've been going on, of course, I've been going back and forth between, I had a bunch of hardware trouble with my machines on top of all this malware trouble from this add-on. But, you know, I'm going on 3 months of trying to get things straightened out from this, from all my different machines. So I don't like the way Chrome works, I never have, but I may have to quit using Firefox just because of all this. So looking on my links again, yeah, I think I was pretty careful to. Well, there's a date. 06/05/18. That's when I made this folder. And when I was researching it and everything. So that's probably right when it hit. And this is August 18. So it's about, I guess that's about 2 months, isn't it? 605, 0705, 0805. 605, 0705, 0805. So that's about 2 months. Okay. Okay, so see, I can put that in the description. Well, I don't know about this video I'm making right now, but if I go to YouTube, I can put that. I'll probably do it later, but anyway, yeah, I'll put those links in these two new videos. This one right here, yeah, I won't do that right now during my video, but this one, I was just kind of talking about it and getting ready. Let's see, quite a bit actually, like I'm to it now, but this time I'm actually going more into detail. So yeah, all right. So this may be. Look again. I think that's. Look through here one more time, see if there's anything else I want to show before I go. Oh yeah, up here towards the top, VirusTotal scan. Let's see, yeah, VirusTotal results. I'm hovering over it, and it does go to VirusTotal. So I'll close that for right now. Okay, so addonbrowser.com domain information. I didn't show that is their web address from. Let's go to reviews. See that it forget it may not you may have to click on that link, and I don't want to go to that site. I was thinking there was somewhere you could actually see. I guess that's one of the ways that it's pretty hard to figure out where things are coming from, because that'll just take you to another looks like it just takes you to another page on Firefox. So anyway, that is where, that's what opens up, is addonbrowser.com. So sometimes you'll have two tabs, one addonbrowser.com and one of the malware that it's serving up. And at addonbrowser.com, you won't even say anything about safer web with VirusTotal or web safer with VirusTotal. It will say, it will just have ads for games and crap on there, and just weird stuff that makes you think, what is that looks like a malware site? You know, I mean, that's in my experience since well, I started really getting into the internet and the computers in '98, and so over the years it's just a typical thing that you would see. So let's see, now this is the report from on addonbrowser.com from VirusTotal, the real VirusTotal. And who is Vietnam, VN? So that's where it's located in Vietnam. There's an address to report abuse. Of course, they're the ones doing the abusing. They're not going to give a rep. I always thought that was ridiculous the way they, if you do a whois lookup on any URL, it'll tell you where to report abuse and all that stuff. Well, you're reporting abuse to the abuser. It's really going to help, isn't it? The only way that could possibly help is if it was a reputable site and they're not doing the abuse, but they're being abused or something, and you wanted to let them know. Of course, they'd probably know it. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, so and see, the website itself doesn't throw off the red flags. Only 1 in 60. There is 1 in 67 that show up as something, and somewhere I saw, down here. But files referring, video flash, download manager, download with. This was just that particular day when I did that scan. I think, well, it might get updated when you go back to it. Antivirus Online scanners, XPI. It says Google. These are Google Chrome extensions too. I'm not quite sure what that means right there. I guess these are files from that site. Those are all evidently, they all say they're Google Chrome extensions. These are, I guess, they're files from this site that have been scanned, I guess. 19 and 57, 14 and 60, 1 and 61, 17 and 60, 15 and 61. So there you go. That's a lot of bad results. See, this one's 0 and 59 for this particular file. YouTube MP3 downloader. Okay, yeah, so these are all, but it all says Google Chrome extensions. It doesn't even say Firefox, but there's more there. I didn't notice that before. These are all okay, but there's 1 in 67 from addonbrowser.com, which is what you always see when when that tab opens up. That's one of the tabs that always opens up. So, see, with that Google search, I did a bunch of different Google searches on this stuff. It's just general malware stuff. Fake Firefox security pop-up, malware, AdWar support. That's in 2017. Now there's my video. Came up in that search, one of my videos. Oh, that's my playlist. That's my playlist. Well, that's good. So maybe eventually people will start finding this stuff. Of course, it's so much long, drawn out, so many videos and so much info, but maybe people will pick through it. And I can't believe that, can't believe that it's still out there, though. Just can't believe it. Put that in my YouTube videos list. But you see, when I did that search and saved that link, that wasn't been in the results because I hadn't made all that yet. But There's an older version of that same kind of deal called Big Search's Adware. Tells you how to remove it. That was the first thing I found. And it can come from, actually I think it came from a different source. Found fake Firefox update. That'd probably, yeah, take a survey. I'm telling you right now what I think about it. Take a survey. Let me tell you what I really think about all this. Hell, I'm not going to read all that right now, but okay, so yeah, this is I will say it's the first time I had any big problem, a malware problem directly related to Firefox that I can think of. Back years ago, I'm sure I ran into a couple of bad add-ons. I just can't see how I would have, especially back when I've been using Firefox since pretty much when it started up. I used to use, I used, Internet Explorer mostly, but I'd always tried out other browsers, and I used to use Netscape. And Firefox was a fork off of Netscape. And so not too long after Netscape went defunct, they quit developing it, Firefox came out, and I started using it, and I really started liking it. And for a while, I would kind of bounce back and forth between Firefox and Internet Explorer, and then especially, I don't remember exactly when I really started using Firefox as my main browser, but I know I had to pick something else because Internet Explorer doesn't run on Linux. So in 2005, when I started Linux, it was like the day that I just installed Linux and started using it, I realized I didn't want to go back to Windows. It didn't take any time whatsoever. So from then on, it's always been the two best browsers that I liked the best was Firefox and Chrome or Chromium. I always tried to use Chromium, but it was hard to install. But now it's in Fedora repos, so now I use Firefox and Chromium, which Chromium is the granddaddy or the mama or the daddy and all in between of Chrome. That's what it's built off of. It's forked off of. So, and it's a lot lighter weight than Chrome, which is really cool. So if you install it, what I figured out is just don't import all your bookmarks, and you'll be fine. It's all I saved so many bookmarks, and I don't have a lot in Firefox right now. That's why I'm opening it up off an HTML backup file, because I didn't import them because I didn't want to slow down my browser again. Because once you get several thousand, it starts slowing down the browser. Just those bookmarks do. But I did figure out that when you do that Firefox refresh, you lost your bookmarks, but you don't anymore. And when you do the Firefox refresh, it actually cleans all the junk out of there in that file, and I found out where it is. It went from being like 130 megabytes to being. I'll go to my backup of my bookmarks and I'll show you, to being 35 megabytes. Okay, so yes, wrong. Okay, bookmarks on level Wi-Fi. I didn't pay attention to the one I just had open, but this one is 30. That's probably it. 35.8 and megabytes. Let's see. Now there you go. 247. And that's same Lenovo Wi-Fi. 247.5 megabytes. That's how big my HTML file had gotten to be whenever I would back it up. And it's still the same amount of bookmarks. It just has all the, I think there's just a lot of scripts and stuff written in there. That I don't know why they get in there or how, but you'll see this script, you'll see those errors. This script is slowing down this web page and everything. Or if you go, like I learned a long time ago, I can't just go to bookmarks and click on that. I don't know if it'd work right. And when I had all those bookmarks, when I had so many and they were a huge file like that, if I would do that, it would lock up my web browser. I learned to hit Control-Shift-O, not 0, but O, and open up your bookmark manager that way. And which is more convenient. But if I would forget sometimes or accidentally click on that, it would just sit there and end up, usually always end up just completely locking up the Firefox, and I'd have to force close it. So, so that refresh is actually a good thing. You still, well, see, you lose something. Some other things you do lose, but it actually probably a good idea. It was, I never would do it because either I had it wrong or it used to, you would lose all your bookmarks, and I wasn't about to lose all my bookmarks. I still do depend on them, and it's really a real pain to not have them in Firefox because you can search. You can search on the page. You can use find, and that's how I found that. But you can do 2, 3, 4 word searches if you go into your bookmarks manager, you can go up here and say see, and I put home in there. I hit DonVid home, and nothing came up. But if I do DonVid or I don't have a lot of bookmarks in here, but if I do Don YouTube, now I get every YouTube video that has Don in it, see? And I'm trying to narrow it down to something. A malware. Now see, I just happened to see the word malware, so now there's 3 of them in there that have the word Don YouTube malware. So that is really good, and I've depended on it for all these years. So I may break down and import these back in there, but I haven't done it yet. But I guess I'm done rambling on about this. What I'm trying to be up to is, well, I've got my machine reformatted already. I don't remember now. That's the only one I actually remember. My server didn't get affected. I didn't have it syncing. But moms, I got to do moms. That's the next one, the most important one. All this happened while I was in the process of I had just reformatted mom's machine from Fedora 4. Well, I actually bought her a new hard drive. I didn't reformat her hard drives laying in the desk on the shelf, not touched. So her original Fedora 14 system is still intact with all her files. But I bought her a new hard drive she needed a bigger hard drive. She's running out of space, so I got her a 2 terabyte hard drive. And I divided it up so that I could have a backup partition and an operating system partition like I had her old hard drive, but it was 250 gigabytes, which used to be big, but now it's small. And so I put Fedora 27. I was in the process of building it up, getting her apps that she needed in there, and I was going to bring in her Firefox. Last thing I do is bring in her Thunderbird emails and all that stuff. Well, all this happened. And so then I finally decided I needed to reformat mine because it was full, and because I needed it to be working so that I could work on everything else, so I could stream my videos and do everything, and just do a machine to do all this research and everything from that's dependable. And then my server fans started making noise, and everything went out, and I tried to avoid buying things, so I was trying to get parts out of the old machines and stuff, and one thing led to another. I realized I was on a horrible, long, drawn-out sidetrack, 5 of them or so. So I just finally figured out that, well, if that old 500 megahertz gateway in the garage can run on a day that was 111 degrees, as long as I had a ceiling fan and a big round fan on a pole pointed at it, and it kept running and didn't lock up or anything. And as well as the wireless router, that's how I get a signal out there, get Wi-Fi, get internet out there for anything that's out there. I thought, okay, so I might as well put my server out there because I knew it wouldn't be 111 again, and keep that just have to keep that fan running. So my server's out there, and I do have a new fan in it. It's not going out, I'm sure, because it's new, but it's a 4-pin fan, and that thing actually supposed to have a 3-pin fan, and that fan works. It's the speed control works and everything on that one, but it does make a weird noise, and I think I still haven't figured out if it's that fan. Sometimes a noise gets really bad. It'll wake me up at night, or when I don't think it wakes me up, but I wake up, like needing to go to the bathroom, and it's driving me crazy, and I can't hardly go back to sleep. And so I don't hear it when it's in the garage, and it's still my website's still online and everything. Everything's good. I just need to check on it all the time. And so when I get done with Mom's machine, then I'll figure out exactly what I want to do about that. I realize now that it was making more noise than I realized. I was just used to it until it started making annoying noises. But it is so wonderful when I only have just my Lenovo i5 running, because I can barely hear that it's running. And I actually realized, oh yeah, see, I have a computer fan in my power supply amp that I have 2 car amps and 2 computer power supplies in an old Dell case, and I have a fan in it to help keep it cool. And I was like, what's that noise? And I leaned down there. Oh, that's what that is. I hadn't been able to hear that in the last couple of years, because what I was hearing was the IBM right up here to the right of me. And even though it wasn't loud, I was hearing it. And now I hear I never could. I would try to listen to the Lenovo i5, and I said, well, I can't hear it unless I stick my ear way over there close to it. Now I hear it just fine. So that thing was making more noise than I realized. So I actually I don't know if I want to set up another full desktop in here as my server. I really don't want to have my desktop out my server out in the garage, because heat, cold, everything, and when I do need to check on it, I have to go out there, Like when it was in here, I just switched my KVM switch. If it needs to be rebooted, if I need to look it over, whatever. I had some files on it that sometimes I needed. I had a few. Well, I had the backup of my website, of my blog, and my web. Well, I didn't have the backup of my website on it. I had the backup of my blog on it. Still do, but I haven't. Of course, I haven't backed it up again in a while now. But anyway, going around in circles about all that. But that's how everything's been, just in circles. So that's all started. All this started with that. What I was just showing, all this malware from this site. So I really can't overstate what a bad thing it is, and it's really I'm just what you see, I've read about this stuff for years, but I've never been directly involved in, if I got viruses on a Windows system or something, I would try to clean it up or else just reformat it, and usually you never could figure out where it came from. But in this case, I know exactly where this malware is being served up from, and I reported it to the only people that can do anything about it, the ones that should have the biggest stake in it, Firefox, and they have done nothing after 2 months. I just can't believe it. And I'm not the kind of person that likes to write or talk to people, directly and argue and fight with them about all that kind of crap. If I do try, I usually just get too mad because people can be so snotty, So I don't do that, really, hardly ever. So, of course, I don't have a big popular YouTube channel, so I'm not, I didn't pay any attention, but those videos have they probably have 1 to 4 views. Maybe one of them has 15 views or something like that. I bet you. Usually when I look, that's about it. So I'm not telling the world about it. I'm telling the world, but nobody's there to listen, So that's not a surprise that, that anybody hasn't seen my videos and reacted, But I don't know. I don't see much point in reporting it again. I think it must have gone into file 13 and may just stay there forever, But when you hear all this stuff about well, you know, people get paid for finding vulnerabilities in websites and stuff like that. Bounty payments and all that stuff. Well, heck, maybe you should. I can't even. I don't know how to turn it around to what I'm trying to say, but this is just right in your face here, and they're just ignore. You know, they haven't done a thing about it. I mean, they. Like I was just seeing all the new. I seen about 3 or 4 more new bad reviews on it. You know, just the bad reviews would make. Seems to me that they would. Just their data would tell them, hey, go look at this. You know, because you know they keep track. They're watching. It's with I'm sure they don't have people that can just sit and watch every add-on. There's so many. Of course, there's not near as many now as there used to be, but I'm sure they have big data watching it for them. It should throw off some sort of alarm, I would think. So, well, tomorrow when I go back on that machine, I'll look in that browser again and see. I don't expect that it will add. I think it's just going to stay just like it is because I haven't synced. Right now in my sync there would only be one add-on now, I think, and that's, well, how did that happen though? I am still kind of puzzled because there's no way to go in and say, I want to clean out my sync account. I don't want anything in my, add-ons, for instance. I thought, well, can I just do that? Unless it effectively did that when I quit syncing all of my machines for a couple of months. But now that I turned that one on, I'm sure there will be, AdBlock Plus will be in there. And so if I turned on sync in another machine that didn't have AdBlock Plus, it would install it. I bet you. I'm sure. That's how it's always worked before. These that are on this machine, I wouldn't expect them to be, in my sync account because it's never been synced. But what I figured would happen is everything that was previously in my sync would get installed in that browser, and I was hoping that the bad one from addonbrowser.com would not get installed. So, but that didn't happen. And I did have, this was, after Firefox Quantum, and I had all my add-ons I was in the process of kind of getting the ones I wanted again, figuring out what I was going to do because I had to change from some of the ones that weren't available anymore. But I should have, let's say, at least 5 add-ons that should have been in my sync account, and nothing got installed unless it's taken way longer than I expected to. I told it to sync now twice, and nothing happened. Unless it's taken way longer than I expected to start really, maybe they're still there and they'll come up the next time I open it up or something. So yeah, tomorrow when I open it up, I'll see. I'll try to make sure, remember, and check it again. Because I want to know this for moms too. I want to know what to do with her account because I don't want to turn on sync in her account at all. I may not, period, just to be safe. Because she's not going to, like I add and remove add-ons, and I have multiple machines I use. Well, she only uses one, so she really doesn't. Well, she has 2 tablets, but those add-ons don't really usually work with, the ones that work well on a tablet don't usually work well in desktop Firefox anyway. Well, we're not actually using Firefox. Oh, yeah. Firefox doesn't run. I don't think you can install it on the Amazon tablet. But on the regular 10-inch tablet that I got for last Christmas, I put Firefox on it, and it wouldn't run worth a crap. I think it crashed a few times. Firefox usually doesn't crash, but it didn't run good. It actually slowed down. This tablet is an 8-core tablet with 4 gig of RAM. You didn't know that they have 8-core tablets, and it's. I'm really becoming jealous. I don't have anything near that. I don't have an 8-core. I don't care. I don't like tablets, but I do want I've been wanting an 8-core machine for a long time. Actually, I've taken my sights off of 8-core machines, and I want to get into servers, and I want a dual 8-core or like a dual. Well, that'd be too expensive, but say like two 2 6 cores or 4 cores or whatever, you know, and they have a bunch of cores in a server and much memory as I can get, you know, and that's what I actually want to start using. And so when I was talking about my server, I started to mention that, but I didn't. But I finally realized I think I could run. I didn't. And one reason why I hadn't got a server, you can get them pretty cheap, cheaper than you can build a new desktop. Is because I knew I couldn't stand the noise in here. And I thought, well, maybe if I built a quiet box for it, it might be all right. But then the heat too, I'd have to vent it out the window or something. I'd have to, and so I haven't ever felt up to. It's a pretty big project for me. I haven't felt up to doing something like that. But now I realize, well, I think it would survive in the garage after all, as long as I have enough fans on it and stuff. But of course, they're not cheap to run, so I wouldn't, much as I'd like to have a bunch of them, I probably couldn't run more than one. And then I can just, I don't know though, see, I don't want to have to run out there into the garage and all kinds of heat and cold. Every time something needs attention on the machine itself, you can remote manage almost everything on them, but there's always those times when you have to go to the machine, you know, and do something. So, same thing. If you like, I'm using an IBM desktop for a server. Same thing. You know, there's times when I have to go out there to the machine, and if I'm not feeling well, or it's hot or cold, you know, that's. I mean, when it's 100 plus outside and are in that garage, then you know, that's rough. So even if the machine can stay running. What I found out, I've been watching lots of videos by a guy named Morton that's a server admin guy, and he makes the best. I've learned so much about. I never always wanted to learn about servers, but there wasn't a lot of good, easy ways to learn about them, you know, unless you work in that business, in that environment, get lucky enough to get a job in there. And of course, you usually need to know something before you can get hired, right? So anyway, I've been watching him for about a year now, watching his videos, and now I've always been interested in them, but the first video I saw of his was one about about servers, was one about putting a video card in the server, and I was like, that's what I've been dreaming of for 15 years. You know, I always knew old servers were cheap, but yet they were more powerful than a lot of the desktops, you know, except for one thing, video. And just to watch YouTube videos, you got to have more than 32 megabytes of video, you know, which is generally what they have, or less. Anyway, you can put video cards in them, and and then there's the other thing is when you, if you'll just run them in a virtual machine, then you can let the RAM do the video work. So you could actually really get by without a video card. I had thought that what I would do was just install. I knew that Fedora and other Linux operating systems will run on certain servers, and so I thought I would just install it on the server and not set up a virtual environment. But now I realize that's the only way to go. Really, is set up a virtual machine server, you know, on the server. So whether it be VMware or I'll probably, since I'm so into Fedora, I'll probably go with what Fedora has, but I forgot what it's called right now. But he likes VMware, and it's proprietary, but it has a free version, and it'll do plenty for, you know, unless you're trying to do enterprise environment. If you're just trying to do home server stuff, then it'll do everything you need. I see that now. And I knew about VMware, and I think I don't know if I ever downloaded it and played with it, but I remember going to their site and looking at it. But I also know that, of course, I'm using Fedora server, the desktop server version, basically. But there are some that are they work a lot like VMware, and they're aimed for real server software, you know, server hardware. So anyway, I'm off on the sidetracks again. I'm looking at my, I'll go to the desktop here. Okay, so on my Lenovo i5, I really never have caught it doing anything less than 30 frames per second right there. and pretty good kilobits too. That'll change upon conditions. Like it'll try to make sure your stream doesn't drop out completely. I don't think it drops the frames per second, but it'll change the kilobits per second to try to, like, if your internet connection slows down or something, or gets bottlenecked from too much. Say, like, if I'm surfing a lot or started watching videos or something while I'm streaming a video or something, But maybe the settings are wrong. I got to look through that. I did before. I know I've tried to figure that out a couple of times, and all I know is all I can really remember is I never figured it out why that one was not even the most it'll do is 15 frames per second. And maybe in the settings, it may only be set for 15 frames per second, and I never did find it, but I don't kind of doubt that, really. So anyway, yeah, I had wanted for the last several years, I wanted an 8-core AMD is what I wanted, because the Intels are just too expensive. I don't have anything against either one of them. I like, but I will say that it seems that Intel and I've had NVIDIA and ATI video cards. NVIDIA cooperates with the open source. They let the open source community have their code so they can build video drivers much more than ATI. ATI didn't used to. Now, a couple of years ago, they started opening up, from what I read. But you're still seeing a lot wider support for NVIDIA video chips and cards than you do ATI. And you can still install the ATI and proprietary drivers, but then you get in trouble where when Fedora or Debian does an update with their kernel, but the ATI hasn't updated their firmware yet, so your video gets completely broken. And that used to happen to me. So I finally quit using proprietary video drivers, because I don't play games much or anything anyway, so I really don't need 3D very often at all. That's all it was for 3D support. But off on sidetracks again. Okay, so I don't know why. I always have that feeling right before when I'm getting ready to go. I think, oh, there's something important I was wanting to say, something to do with what I was actually working on. Whatever it was, I'll either completely forget it or remember it later, I guess. So, it's after midnight. Okay. Well, I got up late today. I got up at 10:30 in the morning because I didn't go to bed till about midnight. And I ended up sleeping more. Well, I woke up with a terrible foot cramp, and so I had to take these natural muscle relaxers for things like that, and I took that, and I took some more allergy medicine, and then I just went conked out until 10:30 in the morning. Now I feel like conking out for 12 hours. I feel so tired. I still haven't got a bath. I'd wanted to do this so bad, so I did it. So now it's late. I knew it'd be way later than I wanted it to be when I quit. If I'd have quit at 10 o'clock, it would have been good, but now it's midnight, after midnight. All right, so I'm going to go. And, at least I found out one good thing. So far, I'm not going to say I'm sure until I've given it a little time, because I've seen that happen before. I've tried to do that, run Firefox sync now, and it seems like it's not syncing, or only one or two things are syncing or whatever. And then the next day or a day or two later, when you get back in that machine or in that browser, depending on how often you get in there, all of a sudden, all that stuff that you didn't think was ever going to sync, it's all there. So it could just be that it took longer than I thought. But I thought that was because I had so many bookmarks, and I don't have the bookmarks syncing. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, all right. Bye-bye.